Hey guys, so it's Sunday. I could just hear myself saying Sunday fun day. Anyways, it's Sunday, and I just wanted to come on here. I keep getting asked questions that pertain to I don't know if you guys can hear the helicopter above my head, but anyways, or actually I think it's a plane. Is how did I survive the twin flame journey? Or where is my twin flame? Or where am I? Or how is love? And where I want to hone in, because I think this is just an amazing piece of the twin flame journey, is where we end up and how we take those lessons to life. And um, I have a quote from Neil Strauss. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like one of my favorite writers. And this just hit it out of the park for me today. It says, cling to certainty if it makes you feel better. Just be aware that what you are clinging to is the opposite of life. And I really like that because I think that the twin flames go through that. I think the person that believes that consistency or religion or ancestral ties or what they've been taught to feel or told to do, um, and they look at their parents and they believe that that's happiness, they cling to that. And normally one of the twin flames does. They believe it's going to be easier. And perhaps some people say they're not awakened, but that's what they do because that's what they've been told to do, or there's something mentally challenging to them. Or and by mentally challenging, like there's something wrong with them. Um, so it's this almost new awakening, this new way of living that we're actually even seeing more during COVID. And then the last part of the line is just be aware that what you are clinging to is the opposite of life. And I really so I'm going to say the whole line. Cling to certainty if it makes you feel better. Just be aware that what you are clinging to is the opposite of life. And when I think of life, I think of miracles, magic, archangels. But what makes life magical is all of the adventures you go through and you see, like when we look at nature, right? It's just consistently miracles and how things are reproduced, or how air is created, or whatever the case may be. But I'm kind of getting away from the fact of it's an illusion, right? It's an illusion. Even and I'm not trying to go way off here, but even religion can be an illusion, right? Like the more we learn about science and navigating religion, maybe religion's a miracle, right? We can't really physically have it, but we believe in the unknown, whether that's God or whatever your God is. So where I'm trying to go with this is the thing that becomes so scary about the twin flame journey is we're actually believing that this person that's in front of us isn't real, right? That the uncertainty, the stepping away from everything we've been taught, it from what are norms. And some people are really courageous and they're willing to give it an opportunity because they look back at their life and they've had other struggles, and this is another step towards this courage. And then other people, they play it safe and they're not awakened. And so I might trigger some people today, but I'm going to give you an example that my best friend gave me, and I think it's really good way to put it. And that is, like when you look at the traditional Midwest family in your, or think about what that looks like in your mind. Your parents, maybe the husband made money, the housewife stayed home, raised the kids, and now we see them today, and are they truly happy? They look back on their life and they say, I know, my stepmom says, I really wish I would have done things different. Like I would have kept a job. Well, that's her, in her mind, she wishes she did something with kids. Maybe that was her higher purpose. And she's choosing still not to tap into that, right? She chose to stay home and watch TV. And the only reason I bring this up, and there's nothing wrong with that decision, But what we're seeing as a more awakened society is, how do you find that inspiration, that basically that thing that really gets you going? And unfortunately, with the older generation, for a long time, they pushed that away because of fear. And so I kind of regress, but what I'm trying to, or digress, what I'm trying to say, because it's Sunday, is how do we get into this uncertainty and this insecurity, because that's what it is, and to fulfill basically our contract or our twin flame journey, right? We're not the norm. There's an awakening happening. We're realizing the traditional model of, you're a man, you're a woman, let's get married, have kids, everybody's going to be happy, the man's going to bring money home, the wife is going to raise the children, isn't working, right? Like, we can tell by divorce rate and whatever. So, I mean, there's many different reasons it's not working, and it's the same reason the corporate model is not working. Ironically, it's the same reason when you pull certain cards in the tarot, the traditional tarot, that you don't know if you're talking about work or love, right? Because they're all interchangeable, because love, work, inspiration, religion, it's all about how you are basically raising your vibration for the collective and loving yourself, because the more love we put and surround us vibrates to others, and then we raise the collective together. So, um, that's where I just kind of wanted to go today. And some of the things that have really helped me, or helped me when I was really going through it in the twin flame journey. And again, these are some of the questions I've been asked, because I felt like the energy was pretty low last week, which is why I did that Valentine's Day talk. Is realizing, or being open to being vulnerable, right? Asking for help. That was the hardest thing that I realized when I started really going through it with the twin flame journey. I've talked about boundaries, but also just getting to a place of not falling into the illusion. And what I mean by that is, just, even if you thought this person and you spent many a lives together, no matter how close you feel, whatever the case may be, you have to start getting really real and start looking at ways the person's showing up for you, ways you're clear with your own life, how you want your own life to feel, not look, but feel. And when I started doing that and working with different spiritual people and really starting to love myself and going through my own, just, different parts of me that maybe I hadn't really truly loved, it really flipped it around for me. I started seeing things for maybe how they were, instead of trying to um, get my twin into a place at the same place I was. So it's hard, right? Because you have to completely let go, and you have to get to this place where you're focused on yourself and you're making yourself better. And the biggest motivational piece I had, which was, if my twin's supposed to be the love of my life in my mind, and I feel most connected, and this person maybe doesn't want to be with me in this moment, how can I use everything that's been told to me to make myself better? So if this person basically misses out, that's how I saw it, then let's just shine even bigger and brighter and serve our purpose here and do our own work, if this person doesn't really want to serve the contract that's between us. So I'm going to give you guys some examples on how it helped, on what I used. And I used the twin flame journey basically as like a muse. And once I started getting clear on how much better of an individual or living the human experience I could get, it was really helpful. And like I said, I started leaning on different spiritual people. And the first, one of the biggest things I did was move. I know not everybody can do that, but it for me, it was just uh, like I always say, it felt like bad food being shoved down my throat. It was a time in LA, anyways, when COVID hit. I felt like, and I still do, COVID's the scariest thing we could have ever gone through. It's similar to like a car accident or a bad experiment or a bad earthquake. And I just started stepping into my own power. If the person doesn't want to be with me in this moment, I have to make myself healthier. So the first thing I did was leave. I left the place that I was living. I wanted to be inspired again. I wanted to be creative, and I knew I needed a support system. So um, that's the first thing I did. The other thing I did was I changed careers. I got really creative with what I was good at, and I went back to the corporate world, which I've talked about, the matrix, and just started doing things that I knew uplifted the collective and how much energy I could actually give to that. And it was easier in for today than doing art, right? Art continued to trigger me really spiritually. It was really wearing me out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy to really give in that platform full time. The other thing I did was I just really started talking about, hey, this is why I'm sad. Like people that I was really close to were concerned and they were asking me deep questions and I couldn't explain it, right? And to this day, I don't know. I've been in the twin flame journey for 5 years now, to give you an idea. And my guy best friend asked me like 2 weeks ago, how did you know about the divine feminine, the divine masculine? And how did that all where did that language come from? How did you get it? And so I guess my point is, it took me a long time to really open up and share like the pain you go through and um, the feelings you feel. But when you slowly do that, it literally like miracles happen. It's very true. The universe has your back. If you're doing the work, um, so I'm going to give you a couple more examples how it just uplifted my life. One was I have an auditory listening disorder. I would say I had it, and I had seen paperwork when I was a kid. I knew of it, but I had never really done the research to find out how that affects others that I'm dating, that I'm friends with. So that was the first thing I did because I'm like, I'm gonna make myself a better person. Uh, and for me, that did it. You know, I started getting my body into some of the best shape. I started really nurturing myself. I got a dog again. I started doing a ton of nature walks because that makes me happy. I did some traveling and I just got in sync, you know. I got a new car. And like I said, I just stayed open. And it wasn't easy, you know. But what I noticed was the more I focused on other stuff, the energy that I had put on that connection for so long, and I started putting it towards myself, like my mind began to change and my uplifting, and I actually started affecting positively even more people in the collective. So, you know, I came back to my YouTube channel. I just and again, these are just small steps that I'm sharing with you, but I'm just trying to share what worked for me if you're really struggling, because that's the whole reason I made this station, because I can't imagine the people that have gone through it for how hard it was for me. And I've said this before, I was really lucky I found Liz. And the other thing that really helped me was meditation. So back to this uplifting movement. What I really want to say today is, if you're one of those people that has stepped away and you're still trying to use the twin flame journey for yourself day to day, I hope you'll really step into that insecurity and allow the miracles to flow in. I thought Sunday was a great day to talk about that, because really that the twin flame journey, you have to be at a certain vibration to attract your twin flame to begin with. So getting to this place and being open, and just full of love. And the biggest thing I can say is just don't stop believing. You're magnets. You guys come across one another. You're pulled back to one another. You never know what the complete journey is. I mean, you go through lifetimes together. So just don't get caught up with, oh, I'm not with my twin flame today. It's not ever going to happen. I'm not with my twin flame today. They don't like me, or they don't care about me, or they're not still in love with me, or whatever the case may be, because part of the twin flame journey is until you've done your own work, you can't even begin to align to have a conversation. Um, you'll go from bouts from I'm in love to I hate you. And as quickly as that happens, it all turns, right? The universe works in this amazing way where when you're not doing your work, it will make you do your work. It will push you and push you and push you until it happens. Um, sorry, my my dog just ran through my computer cord. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to come on here and say those are different things that have helped me. I hope they help you. I'm going to use the Archangel Power cards. Like I said, I feel like people's energy is kind of low from last week, and I really don't know what's going on other than I just feel like with Valentine's Day, we have a very bad stigma that you need to be with someone for them to make you happy. And that's not the case. When you really get clear and you start loving yourself and you want to take yourself on dates and you get a good support system, being single can be really amazing. I don't know. I'm one of those people that really I like being single, but I like being in a relationship as well. But there's something very freeing about when you're single and you get to pick and choose. That's my dog drinking. You get to pick and choose your ways, and that's when also your security builds up when you're single, right? Like you're wearing things that maybe you might not wear, but maybe they look good. Like you're trying harder, right? You're trying to attract that human. But when you get clear with who you are and you're naturally yourself, that's when just amazingness comes in. So the 10 of Raphael and the 4 of the Emperor pop up. These cards read the 10 of Raphael, love and blessings fill your life. And love is not certain and nor are blessings. So I love that that's the first thing that popped up. Harmonious relationships with family members happily ever after. And what I really love about this card is you see the rainbow. And I really truly believe, and I love that the kids are in the back, but I really truly believe that the rainbow is like this light in our heart that reminds us that the universe is always watching over us, right? It's always above us, it's encompassing love, it's mirrored of colors. And it's and I like that the kids are here because just that reminder of the childlike tendencies to make us feel free and full of love. That's when we attract who we're meant to really be with. And the coolest thing is, I don't know if you see this wand up here floating around, but it's angel wings, and I think that that is the wrong. And it's funny because this is the 10 of Raphael, and Raphael is green and means healing. That's what comes through always for me with him. And it's funny because I can see him holding this special wand for some reason. That's what immediately comes up. Um, so yeah, and this woman, it's interesting. She's holding a blue heart in her hand, but I don't know. When I also see this, just because this is the same sex twin flames, it's the idea that we always have this masculine and feminine energy. And sometimes when we release those labels, it's just amazing what we can pull in when we least anticipate it. And being single is working through that, loving yourself, healing both parts, finding that balance. And I don't know, it's really pretty. So the Emperor, Archangel Uriel, I've talked about this before. I don't deal a lot with Archangel Uriel. I know that she does a lot of things with love. A lot of people think they see her around Valentine's Day, I believe. Again, it's not my angel, but she brings in stability, efficiency, taking charge of a situation, ambitious plans. And that's how I feel where we're going right now with the collective is when I hear like take charge of a situation, it's just talking about how to get your own life balanced, because when you yourself are balanced, you allow anything to come in to participate with your energy, which isn't really pretty. So anyways, I just looked up the clock and it was 1942, which are my two favorite numbers. Sorry, I got excited. So to me, that was a little confirmation. Okay, next one, Queen of Ariel. Mature, practical, generous, happy. That's what she immediately wants to say. Nurture yourself and those you love. Wow, we're just getting love cards, which is really strange because look how big this deck is. So the angels just want me to step in here, and they're saying, uplift your energy. It's time just to give yourself almost a break this weekend. It's President's Day weekend. It's a time for us just to do our self care. I don't know. I'm doing my taxes today. It's not very self caring. But right, taxes, this is such a good example. Taxes, when we think of, oh my God, we have to pay taxes, fear, right? I don't even know if I owe anything, but my mind is already working in that place. So just really stepping in and loving ourselves, and the ability to make anything more beautiful. Um, Practical and wise advice. I really like this because that's what we're kind of talking about. That's what this twin flame journey does, Don't get caught up in the darkness and somebody saying it's toxic, or you're a narcissist, or maybe your twin maybe does a lot of lying. But just remember, all of those things are just insecurity and fear. And when we really use what the twin flame um, relationship is about, it's being a co-creative and creating things that you push into the collective that raises the vibration, right? And it's the ability to make everything more beautiful because you're beautiful, right? You know you're beautiful, and you become even more beautiful when you open your heart and you express vulnerability and you allow others to see that, because then in turn they bring down their shields. So anyways, I'm not gonna pull any more from those because they were just so. It's like, to me, they were spot on today. All right. Again, I'm feeling this. It's work your light cards. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of pink right now around me, um, which normally comes across for me just opening your heart sacral, and just being open to seeing what's to come. The more open we can be, the more we allow the universe to do their work. Immediately what comes to mind is people who tell me, oh, the angels don't talk to me, or I can't talk to my guides, or I've never spoke to somebody on the other side. And everybody has those abilities. It's like, every time I hear that, I'm like, well, have you done the work? And they're like, work. And I'm like, yeah, like, have you tried to meditate 30 minutes to an hour at each setting twice a day? Do you ever try to wake up between the hours of 3:30 and 5:30? That's a really good time to tap in. It's a really good time to talk to your twin flame. Like, have you sat through different meditations online? Have you done a sound bowl healing to raise your vibration? Do you exercise? Do you detox? Like, how are you cleansing your soul? Are you drinking a gallon of water a day? What are you doing to get to the place to be able to be open enough to align with that frequency, right? That's immediately what comes to mind. And when we do that, we align to such a place that it's easy to hear the other side. When I started meditating, it was the first time I heard my mother's voice. And I've always said, if there was no other reason that my twin flame came into my life, I got to hear my real mother's voice, who died when I was 8 during meditation. So learning how to calm your mind and just align with your spirit, it's in your higher self, is really just, I don't know, it's really beautiful. So anyways, let's see what these cards bring out. And I get mirror. Who or what is triggering you? So, wow. So I think that's exactly probably where we are right now, right? Are you still being triggered by your twin flame? And if so, again, maybe try to use that as your muse. Is there something that that person taught you or said that you're so insecure about you still can't pass through? Where are you with how that feels? Can you really release certain things? What is there that's still mirroring? Is there a conversation that needs to be had that you still want to have? Like, you know I don't know, before I give you this advice, it doesn't work for me, but a lot of people journal. My mind doesn't work that way. When I journal, I get stuck in this story that I'm journaling about. But a lot of people use that type of therapy. They also use screen therapy if you're angry. I have a shrink that I still check in with. I also have a spiritual person I talk to. It depends on what the circumstance is, but how do you find that balance? And so if you're still feeling triggered, try to go dig deeper in what that's about. I know for me, it really helped, because when I finally got to a place where I felt like, okay, I just don't care what my twin thinks about me, that's when magic kind of started occurring around me, and I really stood into my own power, and I don't know the right word, like got the confidence to be like, okay, this is healthy. I know what's healthy, and I know what I want to surround myself with. So something to think about. The next, Akasha records. Okay, so immediately what comes to mind is your guidance is always divinely guided, because the Akashic records, which is, they were already set up in a place to create basically these contracts throughout your life. So let's talk about a contract for a minute. That's what the angels sorry, just threw across my eyes. They're like, contract, contract. Okay, so if you've been given a contract, so that's what we call basically this twin flame journey, and for whatever reason the contract's not working, how does that work energetically with all of the other energies? And I always say, how I see it is, it's like a family, and you will meet other energies throughout this life, that, whether it's a sister, normally there's some sort of close connection, a sister, best friend that never leaves. I don't know how to explain it, but when you start seeing it, you also see energy patterns with others. So when you meet someone, they have the same energy essence as like your best friend. So you see why they slowly become that the original best friend stays in your life. But when you start meeting other friend groups, you start. Hi, Wendelicious. So I'm trying to explain right now, um, the Akashic records, having this contract, and when basically the contract of the twin flame journey isn't working out. And what happens is when we step away and we start working on ourselves, the contract basically can break if the other part, your other twin flame, not that they quit being your twin flame, but then what will happen is you still had to fulfill your side of the contract, or at least I believe you repeat this life. So what does that mean? It means that, let's just say hypothetically, there's another twin flame set, and one of them isn't fulfilling their end of the contract and isn't raising their consciousness. So it's, if not, you repeat, right? That's what life's about. Life's about believing in the miracles, being in the insecurity, growing as a soul. That's the purpose here. So then you have energy groups. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever, because this has happened to me, once you're aware, if you meet another group of friends and you see their dynamics, you will slowly start understanding that their energy fields play off one another in such a way that when you look at your own support group in the energy fields, you start seeing how basically the families run together. So just take this a step further. When I met my twin flame, I met her cousin. And as stupid as this sounds, I knew immediately we had spent many lifetimes together. Not only my twin, but her cousin. Um, it's like we immediately had this spiritual connection, and it was like a little sister to me. And immediately I thought, wow, I think you were my little sister in the past life. Like that's how um, much of a kindred spirit we have. So you start, and I'm not saying this is easy, right? It's still like when the contract isn't being fulfilled, you miss the all of the members, because those same energies that are attracted to your twin are exactly what you have on your side in different human format and different human forms. So I bring this up because where I want to go further is when you're the twin that chooses to do your work, step into the insecurities, step into the unknown, and allow the universe to bring miracles to you and bless you. You are divinely guided, and that's what the Akasha or the Akashic records are saying to you. It's already in motion, and you'll be divinely taken care of. Source isn't leaving you out because you know, I remember I was in a place in my twin flame journey and I was like so upset because I was like, well, how can I fulfill my contract when my twin flame at the time didn't want to work with me? And I'm like, now what do I do? Right? Like, because I had tried everything I possibly can to work in some sort of counterpart way to raise the collective with this individual. And it took my spiritual person to say, you leave it and the universe will still bless you and somebody will come in that's willing and wanting to do the same work. You don't let go of the work you're meant to do once you know what it is. So, all right, we're going to go for another card. Woo! This is deep today. Thank God it's Sunday, right? It's all about love, God, the angels. A lot of chatter on this side. Okay. Let's see if I can get another one. Yep. Okay. Lemuria. I love this. This is a really cool place. If you study Atlantis, Lemuria, I find I more resonate with Atlantis, but some people resonate more with Lemuria. And this is creating heaven on earth. It's more water. When I think of Atlantis, I think more light, more sound, more color. It's kind of what I'm more attracted to. Lemuria is more. It's happening. It's Lemuria. I don't know why I always see walking human amphibian people walking around Lemuria. I don't know. That's what always resonates for me when I talk about it. And they knew, I mean, this comes to me that they knew how to use water as healing properties. And it's the idea that we're creating heaven on earth. And as we lose water on this planet, we're starting to learn actually all of the important properties of it. And that's going to be a massive shift forward. And we're going to start seeing it come in because we've gone from, droughts to then floods. So of course, history will repeat itself, and Lemuria is just reminding us again, don't get stressed out about this whole climate change format because Mother Earth knows how to take care of herself. Humans are not winning the war on that. We will lose. But what I mean by that is the Earth knows how to regenerate itself, and that is inevitably what will happen. And immediately what comes to mind is like a typhoon to make it all back in balance. So yeah, so I was feeling these cards. I don't know a lot about them. I gravitated to them a couple weeks ago when I got some more cards for our for this channel. Here's the deck, and I really like it because it reminds me of Dolly in the middle. The artwork is just absolutely incredible. So first, of course, I saw Angel, and then Oracle of Emanation. So I immediately thought a lot of Tel Aviv, Israel, and then for the lightness to be within the darkness. I don't know. There was something that just really gravitated to these. So let's just see. Like I said, these are new for me. And if something doesn't come to me when I see it, I'm just going to read the card and the highlights. And this is going to be my last message of the day. Sorry, this was kind of lengthy, but trying to put a little bit more love into this channel when I can, because I know I get real busy during the work week. So this is the one that pops out, and this is what I mean. They're just crazy. Hazmat, you see, like there's so much lightness, and then there's darkness, and then He's looking down, and it's the angel of annihilation. So again, I don't know what this is going to mean. So I'm going to look it up and just see what comes out. Like I said, these are just this artist just really threw me, and I was so excited when I found them. So let's see. This might take a minute, so I apologize because I don't know if there's an index. It doesn't look like there is. So I had to dig through this for a minute. So hold on. Hold tight. I appreciate your patience. Um, and I like that she went through all of these angels. So the unmaker, a terrible sight to behold, the void eating itself and making itself anew. That which should no longer exist is unmade by Hasmon's hands. There is something that needs to be removed. Look upon that which should not be and lose it from existence. Sign, a hood, an eclipse, an empty field. Um, wow. That is, it's just so like these cards can be so trite, and I really like that. So that which should no longer exist is unmade by Hasmon's hands. There's something that needs to be removed. And I'll tell you what comes to mind. Look upon that which should not be and lose it from existence. You know, a lot of people don't talk about this, but what I can tell you is, and I believe this is, and I have to pull one more card before I state this because I'm not going to leave today on this note. If it comes a point in your twin flame um, relationship, correspondence, discussion that really there's nothing you can do to bring positivity in it, and the person you're dealing with isn't willing to look at the connection in more of an expansive way, maybe doesn't feel the same as you, um, it you have to just remove yourself and take a very big step back. And what I can tell you is just to it's like if you this is what's coming to me, sorry. This is what they're saying. If you truly believe in the twin flame journey, then you have to believe in it so much that when you take a full step back, it creates so much space that the magnet will still be magnetized to you and come back to you in a way to allow for more conversation. Um, and what I mean by that is, I always say with the twin flames, there's a red string that attaches your heart to that person, no matter who they date, no matter who they think they fall in love with or run from you. It's like you know, those like I see this Corley like this, and when they pull, they go, ring. That's what I continuously say. But what I mean is when you take a step away, if you can envision a step away, they take a step forward. But you have to allow so much space that they start to focus on themselves and dig deeper and see the patterns around them, right? So if they say, "Hey, you're toxic," okay, hypothetically, if you take a step away and you just work on yourself and you look around and you don't have drama and you only have love, inevitably they'll keep repeating those patterns to such a degree that finally they'll go, "Wait, maybe I missed something. Maybe it wasn't about them. Maybe it's really me in this moment." Um, so I want to read Wendy's message. Brooke, I'm kind of sure that black magic is being used on my twinemy. I know this sounds crazy, and I am surprised I didn't catch it sooner. Is it possible it could cause the contract to break? No, I don't think the contract breaks at all. I think what happens is you can step away. You have to remember your energy, and this goes on for lifetimes. But what I can say is instead of being focused on it's black magic or this person said this or I can't believe my twin's listening to that or my twin's choosing to do this, the biggest advice I can give you is don't care, because the more you care about that continuous negative, you're wasting energy that could be wasted on, or not wasted, that could be put towards other things. So I always say think of yourself like a battery. The battery only has, this is an example, 5 hours a day. Okay, you have 5 hours of energy a day. So, where are you putting that energy? How much towards yourself, your kids, your job, your hobbies, your spirituality, keeping your body in shape? And then how much are you wasting being focused on other things? And my point is if you stay in love and that's all you feel and that's all you manifest, inevitably it will heal itself divinely, and like I said, source will step in. I mean, I've heard stories of twins not talking for 15 years, and then one day they wake up, they talk to each other, and then they do their work. But you have to give it the opportunity for each twin to rise up in their own time, because time's an illusion in format. So I would say my answer to you is just allow it to be, as hard as that is, and don't step into the continuous pattern of the arguing, because at the end of the day you just start to realize, like, this isn't about me. Like, this is about this person and how much they love themselves to really gravitate or allow themselves to manifest love themselves. So anyways, that worked for me. It's rather coincidental that the annihilation card came out as I was typing it. I realized the black magic when I stepped away from him. Oh, I really like that. Wow. Um, I really like that, Wendy. That's really cool. Yeah, it's just step away, you know. When we step away and we allow things to breathe, they work in their own. All right. Again, I'm gonna have to look this one up. Tiferet, heart and beauty. I mean, this card is just, these cards are so gorgeous. And I wish there wasn't that glare, but if you can see that, I am just blown away by the artistic structure this artist truly took to write all these. So immediately what I see with this is the heart of this creature totally blown out in the background. And I love that it's lightning, because it just totally reminds me of energy. But when you look inside this creature, it's two hands holding a ball like this, like an atom. And then there's a hand coming from the heavens on top like this. And it immediately tells me we're divinely guided. You know, there's these triangles that are floating around him. That again is telling me we're all made out of atoms, we're all energy, and just to allow source, you know, to have these hands like this in the center of this creature, it just reminds me that, like, our heart is what we get to protect and what we get to use to love, right? It's like our compass. And there's no other light in the world that between your heart and your twin that matches the same. Like, I always say this, I will always say this. My twin's body, physical body, fits perfectly in mine, as odd as that sounds. Like, our eyes, even when you look at our eyes, are the same and similar. So it's like you learn to allow this love to pass through you, uplift you, and you just put one foot in front of the other. You allow the other twin to catch up or not. And if they don't, if you stay in love, that's all you will manifest. Every time he and I started to come into union, um, I was suffered a major injury, illness, or hospitalization every single time. Well, and what I would say to you there is, what immediately comes to mind is because he didn't know how to transmute the energy, and there was parts of his life that really had nothing to do with you, that unfortunately he was hurting himself because he wasn't ready for that high end energy to pass through his body. My twin makes decisions that I'm not going to talk about that can create illness too. You know, it's not being honest and 100% truthful to yourself, whatever format that looks like. So I'm going to look up Tiferet, uh, and let's see. Like I said, there's no index here, so it doesn't make it easier. The sixth emanation, the temperate force that allows the rest of the emanations to coexist in beautiful harmony. Tiferet is without extremes or absolutes. As each other aspect rages around him, he neither yields nor resists. He is the equilibrium that exists between these forces. He is the guiding hand that braces against the many aspects of the tree to gracefully bring them toward one another. The yellow orb brings balance to the universe. Forming the midpoint between Keter and Malruth, he defines the pillar of balance. At the glowing center of the tree, in the midpoint between all of its relationships, he distributes energy from each emanation back across its paths. It's a careful balancing act, incorporating such extreme opposites, but this is the nature of the tree as a whole. Tiferet mirrors the structure of the tree existing as a microcosm of the whole. And you can find it in art, health, and community. What I really like is if you think about this, and I've talked about this before, this careful balance, if you think of, you could say this twin flames relationships are a careful balancing act, incorporating such extreme opposites, but this is the nature of the tree as a whole. The structure of the tree existing as a microcosm of the whole. I mean, and it talks about art, health, community, which are, I mean, creativity, it would be your the way you're transmuting the energy. Health is you will be your healthiest when you're aligned with your higher self and you're living honestly and truthfully. In community and service is what God speaks of, or the angels, which is uplifting the collective. So I think that's a great way to end this discussion. But it's also just a reminder to allow ourselves to love ourselves and not be as focused on our twin and with what's happening. Because when we allow ourselves to love ourselves, how we're truly meant to love ourselves, and we're aligned with ourselves, and you're doing your spiritual work, you're working out physically your body, you're aligned with your higher purpose, you're raising the collective in your own fashion format. What you slowly start to realize in time is your twin will align with you, and you realize the higher purpose of why you both are here. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.